Thank you for staying with us, everyone. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is making a fresh push to address Nigeria's growing security concerns, this time by seeking the backing of the National Assembly to fast-track the creation of state police. It's a move that has long stirred debates across political and civil society circles, with arguments both for and against decentralizing policing powers. Tonight, we break it all down, the proposal, the politics, the possible impact, and we ask the big question: is Nigeria truly ready for state police? Honorable Jimi Benson, Chairman House of Representatives Committee on Defense, joins me on politics tonight. Honorable, thank you very much for joining us on the program. Good evening to you.
Thank you very much,
Right.
Jumi.
So can you help us understand the president's request in clearer terms? What exactly is he asking the National Assembly to do regarding state police? And has any formal communication or bill been submitted to the House on this matter?
Mr. President is a federalist. Mr. President understands that we imported the democratic and presidential system from the United States of America. And you'd ask your question, we imported all the attributes of a federal system, but how come we didn't import the state police from the United States of America? So in his wisdom, Mr. President also sees that the role of the armed forces has been exacerbated. We find them now doing functions of the police. So in his wisdom, he's been consistent on this matter. He's spoken severally about introduction of state police. And in the ongoing constitutional review that is taking place in Parliament, one of the key highlights from our side is also the introduction of state police. Mr. President's statement a couple of days ago further reinstates that having states police, it's a step in the right direction. So as far as we are concerned, we have passed the bill. We've done public hearing. We've done the regional public hearings on it. Next is the one in September, which is the national public hearing, which we would invite all Nigerians to come and have their say on it. We already have an idea of how to go about it. What we want to do is to bring the state policing, want to remove it from the exclusive list, put it in the concurrent list so that states can also have a say in how their region or their territory is policed.
And I'm sure that's an interesting angle for many Nigerians because, one, state police has been a subject of controversy since the 7th National Assembly and has also failed to make it through the amendment phase. First, do you consider this conversation as a major shift, considering that the previous administrations had vehemently opposed the idea of state police, especially for those who say this is a testament to the fact that the president actually listens? Why do we still need state police, in your own opinion? Can state police solve Nigeria's security problem, Honorable?
Yes. What I say is, being a federalist, right? Mr. President has given us the political cover to go all out to implement it. If you look at the world ratio, the United Nations statistics says that for every 400 people, you must have one policeman. Nigeria is grossly underpoliced when it comes to that, right? And furthermore, armed forces of Nigeria is handling a lot of internal security issues that ought to be handled by the police. So how do we ramp up the size of our policemen? Yes, we need states to step into the fray and ensure that they establish police commands within their territories. And when they do that, they employ their locals to be able to train. The locals know the terrain of those environments. The locals know the ethnic stock, the cultural issues that are pertaining in that area. So it's much easier. It's assigning the monkey to the person who is best suited to deal with it. So those are the governors. But we, on our own hand, will also have safeguards, ombudsman, to ensure that those powers are not abused, to ensure that it's a license, so if a state goes out of hand or abuses the power that is vested on them, those license for those periods may be suspended at some point, then the federal police takes over. But so there's still some gray areas that we have to iron out before we eventually pass the bill before the end of this year.
Honorable, please talk to us from the angle of a legislator. Basically, for Nigerians who do not know, what legislative steps are required to make state police a reality? Will it involve amending the Constitution? Is the House of Reps ready for such a constitutional reform?
Yes, like I said earlier, we've gone very far.
Okay.
We've done the first reading, we've done the second reading, we've done the public hearing, state by state. We've done the regional public hearing. I chaired the regional public hearing in the Southwest. So we're now going to do the national public hearing on the 20th of September. So we'll invite Nigerians to come and express their interest, or just let us know what they feel about it. And after that, we hope to pass the bill by December, and we then send it to the 36 states for their concurrence. So the train is on. Thank God we also have the political will, which has been lacking in these past years. The political will is there, so the train is already moving. So the state police will soon be a reality.
So does this mean there is a broad bipartisan support for the creation of state police?
Yes, there is.
Absolutely.
There is. So most of the ball is in our court. That's the federal legislature. The presidency is happy with it. So we still need to convince, and I'm sure they already convinced the governors to put the assets to it. So that's where the people come in.
All right. But as chairman, will the Defense Committee play a direct role in reviewing or shaping this proposal, or will it be left mostly to the Police Affairs or Constitutional Review committees?
No, it's going to go to the Constitutional Review Committee, yes, which I'm a member. I represent my state in it. So, I mean, most of the members of that committee also geared towards supporting this bill. So I do not see it facing any hiccups in its passage.
So, because the conversation about funding has started, Honorable, so there's been this question, which I would like to direct to you now. Will the introduction of state police affect the role of funding of the military in internal security operations? Because there are those who are saying it could allow the military to refocus on external threats. Where do you stand on this?
Yes, I agree. Like I said earlier, the job of the police is basically to take care of internal security issues. The job of the military is to take care of existing threats, external threats that we face. For instance, the Sahel region is a bit hot now, but the Nigerian armed forces have to cope with dealing with that, and also dealing with IS issues. So upscaling the strength of the police will definitely be a step in the right direction. It will ensure that our armed forces, who have excelled pretty well in, remember, in Liberia, in Sierra Leone at some point, and they excel there without even taking a penny out of those countries. Most foreign interventions have the foreign armies going in there and taking up the economic benefits of those countries. The Nigerian army didn't do that, So as we speak, it's a step in the right direction, and I think that state police will add tremendous value to our lives and help in increasing our GDP.
But of course, you would agree with me that every state in the country has a policing system in place. Lagos has Neighborhood Watch. Motekun takes care of the Southwest. There is Ibubiagu's and Farhan's Protection Guards. There is Operation Rainbow in Plateau, Hisba Commission somewhere in Yobe State. So basically every state has done something, no matter how little. But there are fears that this will become the armed wing of some state governors. and this may breed anarchy. Nigeria may kiss goodbye to democracy if this happens. Are these fears valid?
Yeah, they're valid. That's why I said that. Okay, so the structural way of proposing is, like the Nigerian University Commissions, right? The Nigerian University Commission is it's a national parastatal that allows universities, states apply and gain university recognition. So if you have the police as well as a commission set up, right? So states apply individually, and if they meet the condition precedents, that is, they have enough funding, they have enough personnel, they have enough structures to be able to accommodate state policing, and approval is granted them. So there's also a benchmark to ensure that they meet up to expectation, that they don't abuse the powers that is vested upon them. If they abuse it, their license may be relooked into, or suspended, or the federal police may be asked to step into that area until things are normalized. So there are ombudsmen that can look into the activities of this police and at least check if they're fulfilling the terms of the engagement.
All right, then. But what role do you see the Nigerian Governors Forum playing in this process? They need to be fully aligned before this moves forward. Will states have a say in the structure of funding model?
The good thing is that states have, with the removal of subsidy that Mr. President has graciously approved, most states get twice or three times their allocation now. Now, how best it is for them to improve the GDP or the safety and welfare of the people is to ensure that the safety, the people are well policed, and that so once they do that, once we have that in place, state police in place, investments will come in. The states will be able to do a lot more in uplifting the living standards of their people. So we believe that the state police is a step in the right direction, and the best time to do it is now, because there's excess funding for them through the subsidy removal. And the good thing again is that the game changer again is the tax bill. The tax bill, the development levy that we used to fund, was used to fund NIDA, NASENI, the NEL fund. A part of it has been dedicated to ensuring that security agencies are well funded. So I'm sure some of these monies will trickle down to the states as well, and they'll be able to invest more in protecting the lives and properties of their people.
Absolutely. But one of the challenges in multi-level policing globally is coordination and information sharing. If we eventually go ahead with state policing, do you worry about collaboration, intelligence sharing between states and federal police? Because even with the military, the police and other sister agencies, the president continues to appeal for better collaboration and intelligence sharing. Do you think this will be a major cause for concern? And ultimately, how can Nigeria build strong cooperation between federal, state, and possibly local police forces?
Thank you very much. Even in the United States, during the Iraqi war, the United States government had to introduce a law called the Goldwater-Nichols Act. Yes, that mandated all the services to work together. So it's always a learning curve. There's no agency in the world that has 100% synergy. We need to be improving on it. We need to be speaking to them. We need to have laws that would mandate or make them all work together in synergy. So it's going to be a building process, and I'm sure that in the fullness of time, we would hand over the reins to very responsible people that will see that coordination.
Okay, so let me stay with the example you just gave. I mean, in the US, for example, there are federal, state, and local police, each with clearly defined roles. But how can Nigeria ensure that perhaps similar clarity exists to avoid jurisdictional conflict? Should Nigeria also define the limits of state police authority through legislation or some kind of constitutional amendment? Is that possible?
Yes, that's what we're trying. That's what we say we're trying
Okay.
to do. So you're going to remove policing from being in the exclusive list to be in the concurrent list. So even if something is in the concurrent list and another is in the federal list, it always says that when there are areas of disputes, the exclusive list item, the federal supersedes what's in the concurrent list. So it's already there in the laws, right? So we're just saying that, and aside from that, we should also ensure that the safeguards, responsible people are employed to manage all the process. So that is being looked at in an eagle eye. And we also expect notable, eminent, knowledgeable people to come to the public hearing so that everything that is done, all hands will be on deck to ensure that we get as near perfect a document that we all intend to have.
And for those who have been asking, where will the money come from? I'm sure they're eager to listen to your answer. Do you believe the current federal budget allocation to the police is adequate to meet Nigeria's security needs? If not, Honorable, what percentage increase would you recommend? And how do we even justify it in a strained economy like ours?
So like I always say, Mr. President was kind enough to sign the DICON bill, right? The DICON bill is a dynamic bill that allows Nigeria to produce as much infrastructure, both hardware and software, right? So most of the items we used to buy are from abroad, but DICON now has so much interest from local and foreign investors ready to produce ammunitions, arms, APC carriers, all these items that state police will require to be efficient. So there's a proliferation of these guys coming into the country. It means that hardware, software items will be a lot cheaper than they were before. Right now, we're already producing 90 million rounds of ammunition due to this signage by Mr. President. So you find out that the ingredients to use for state police will be surplus and will be able to export in the not too distant future. The personnel, we have a lot of young youths looking for employment to work. We have a lot of overbloated civil service. Yes. So, for instance, state civil servants can be moved to non-sensitive, and the ones that are trainable can be moved to sensitive departments of this police when they're set up. And like I also said, a percentage of the development levy in the new tax bill has been allocated to security. The excess monies they get from the withdrawal of fuel subsidy, yes, would also be assigned to ensuring that state police is well funded. If there's a well-secured city, right, there'll be a lot of investors, there'll be a lot of investments, right? Mr. President has traveled all around the world bringing investors into Nigeria. They need Nigeria to be safe, right? So thankfully, the governors are also with us on this. So it means that funding won't really be an issue, because by funding the police, your GDP will rise, jobs will be employed, the state becomes richer. So there's a knock-on effect that is positive that would also add to the well-being and security of lives of Nigerians.
All right. I mean, now we're talking about state police. Before now, the president had talked about forest guard, all in a bid to end insecurity. But from your own perspective as a legislator, does Nigeria need foreign support in tackling banditry and terrorism?
That's a very, very good question. A school of thought believes yes, particularly when it comes with dominating the skies. I remember that Turkey had these issues we had in the past, and what did they do? They dominated the skies. So any illicit, illegal movement is spotted by them, and they know what to do to curtail such, right? So again, if you get foreign input into the banditry and kidnapping, how, so I always ask the question, how sincere will those people be after the job has been done? You know, it's only Nigeria that went to war in Sierra Leone and Liberia that did not enjoy any economic benefit. All our hardware and software back then that were bought under Shagari were totally taken to the theater, yes, and depleted. We didn't take anything back, and we did not benefit from the economic opportunities because we're brothers keepers. Nowadays, these mercenaries have an eye for your oil, have an eye for your gold. So we have able men and women who are very competent, who, given the right impetus, can also do a lot for our country. But that's not to say that in areas of dominating the sky. So I would say when it comes to surveillance, drones, having an eye in the sky, I would say that yes, maybe a bit of more foreign can be, just a bit, can be energized into the system. Yes.
All right, Honorable. Whether this proposal becomes law or not, I mean, one thing is clear: the call for a more effective, responsive, and accountable security system remains urgent across the country. Honorable Jimi, Benson, Chairman, House of Representatives Committee on Defense, thank you so much for speaking with us tonight. Please have a great week.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And that's the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. You can watch this again by 12:30 a.m. Thank you so much for staying with us all through the week. Please stay with TVC News. Good night, everyone.